CLG was always the team that win every scrim, but they lose every LAN event, right? And now it's the opposite. We actually lose games in scrims, and then we come into the LAN settings and everything is set. Like, we have clear calls, really good plans, and we know win conditions of our team comp perfectly fine and what we have to do in order to win the game.
Welcome back, everyone. Definitely different words than what we usually hear from TSM. Once they get to, or CLG, if you will, once they get to the LAN setting, then it becomes easier, when usually it was everything that happened during the scrim setting and not during the LAN setting.
Much happier to lose scrims and win on LAN.
Absolutely. It's time for our final LCS game of the day. That means Evil Geniuses versus Counterlogic Gaming. Obviously, the big story here is 3 new players stepping in to cover for Snoopy, Yellow P, and Crepo, who are out this week. And while it's a learning experience for these players to step onto the pro stage, it's an opportunity for us to learn about them as well.
Right, so these new players, people will have seen Robert X. Lee from the North American Challenger Series, where he was playing with Complexity Black. He'll be covering AD carry, and I'm very excited to see how he performs in the LCS because he definitely has a lot of talent. And then we have Ken, or the artist formerly known as Executioner Ken, will be covering for Crepo as support. And he has appeared on our stage before as well. He was part of the North American Collegiate Championship under the name Feng Shen, and he played with Sergio's Dream. Then he competed in the North American Challenger Series with 2 teams. It was called Blue Pill.
Right.
And he did pretty well odds there. And then ThinkHard. Okay, ThinkHard is coming into the jungle. He's a relative unknown, but he is in Challenger, and he actually hit #1 in Challenger at one point. He also is on a ranked team, and they're in Challenger. They're #2 right now, ranked 5s. So we'll probably be seeing him more in the Challenger Series as well. We're going to have to see, how these new guys perform now that we do not have the regular EG players.
Yeah. Well, they'll have a tough challenger right out of the gate against the #3 team. CLG had a difficult Super Week, however, facing off against every team in the top half of the standings.
CLG were coming in with their team's biggest winning streak, and they were set to make that next big step, but they had a couple of sloppy games here and weren't showing the strong team coordination that we've come to expect from them. We saw in their game against Cloud9, it turned into sort of team fight after team fight with 37 kills in 27 minutes, and most of those fights were actually CLG scrambling to catch up with Cloud9. That being said, though, the only teams that they did lose to during Super Week were Cloud9 and TSM, who are ranked #1 and #2, so we'll have to see how they can perform nowadays. Again, with an extra week off, I mean, they'll have had extra practice. See if they've got back that discipline that we've come to expect from them.
We will get the chance to see. Let's check out the starting lineups as we get right into it. On the blue side, it's Evil Geniuses. In the top lane is Inox, ThinkHard in the jungle. Pobelter mid, Robert X. Lee at AD carry this week with Ken right behind him on support.
And on the red side, it's CLG. Yen is up top. Dexter's in the jungle. Link is mid, double lift on AD carry, and Afro Moose supporting.
And on social media right now, we just see Snoopy tweet now. It's really going to suck sitting at home watching this, but I believe in the team. I believe in these guys. Pobelter, make things happen. And Inox, tweeting out both those guys.
And ThinkHard and the other 2 new guys,
right,
Rob
absolutely.
Nixley and the other one.
And Ken. So they really have to come together. I feel like it's a lot of young minds, though. I feel like they'll mesh well. I don't know any of the guys. Robert X. Lee works with a lot of teams. They don't all have kind of a one-set personality where they're going to do things. I think it'll come together pretty well.
Yeah. What was it? Kiwi Kid, I believe, in our opening interview of the day was talking about, there's a bunch of subs that came in, but they're actually looking, pretty well.
Pretty damn good indeed. Pantheon's going to be the first ban out here, going over at Dexter. Not really a champion that he's put too much time into, but he was pushed onto Jarvan the other week with the amount of bans that were given out. Maybe they're trying to do that again because it was not good for CLG.
Yeah, interesting. Maybe a little scrimmage intel coming down there. We'll have to see. Elise is still in her pre-nerf form, though, and leaving up Elise for CLG is very dangerous. So I think that this might be a bait because they want to first pick Elise, and they're trying to get CLG to ban it instead.
Yep.
Because CLG may not know ThinkHard's champion pool. Well, all right, Elise is gone. There it is. Bam.
Yeah, locked in. ThinkHard goes for the Elise. They say we get a top-tier pick onto that. Seeing 2.
He's so happy. All right, that was happening. It was definitely a bait. Well, he's got his champion right there, and we all know the power of early games Elise. We'll have to see how he handles the Spider Queen.
So far, so good. EG always has smiles on their face, and they're laughing their heads off through Champion Select. So even with the new roster, they're doing that, keeping it the same. Could have a rise on the side for Nien. Looks like he's just going to hover on that for a little bit of a history lesson, reminding people what happened and how he made it work. Doesn't want that tough of a game, though, this time. Looks like he'll keep it safe. Maybe pick that Shiv. No, switches a quick LeBlanc in there for Link.
Yeah, I'd much rather save my counter picking for Nien, because Nien is not nearly as comfortable in his lane as Link is at mid. I think that Nien would much rather be able to see what he's going up against first, whereas Link, very confident to go against anything on LeBlanc since Lulu's already banned out.
Yep.
He doesn't have that much to worry about. You know, maybe a Gragas, maybe a Zed to fight against, but it's not going to be any sort of hard counter for him now.
We'll see. It's going to be Ken getting that Morgana for himself a lot in the Challenger Series. What we saw was actually Blitz, and he brought out the Leona. His Zenith Blades were quite great against Morgana, so he knows the matchup on both sides. We'll see how it goes here with a long range of Caitlyn and Morgan, that bot lane for EG.
Yeah, pretty safe lane there. Morgana, Caitlyn, extremely safe. And with only half of the duo locked in for CLG, I expect them to pick up their AD carry for double lift as well now. He really has his pick of the litter. Sivir, though, would have been good. You know, he's undefeated on Sivir. Happy to go with the Vayne.
Yep. He's played it quite a bit of times. 6 times on Vayne. Now making it 7. That's the most played champion for double lift. And why not? Mani said, even in his interview, that he's happy enough to let double lift go ahead and carry on Vayne when the time comes.
Looks like the time has come.
Yep.
And they've also combined that pick with Shyvana up top for Nien. But there's no Renekton hover over here for Inox. He's not a big fan of those tanky meta top laners. He's much bigger fan of any sort of assassin. Nidalee here is usually a mid laner, but because it's Inox, that's probably going to be a top lane Nidalee, I'm expecting. And since it's going up against LeBlanc, they're probably going to send Zed towards LeBlanc. I think that Nidalee is probably going to be the Inox special, one of his favorite champions. That he's pretty much rose to the top of solo queue with that champion.
He's got 3 plays on it already with a positive score of 2-1, so no troubles there. The Zed pickup will go over to Pull Belter, now his most played champion at 4 times.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
There's always that little inkling in the back of your head because they are flex picks. You can change up the lanes they're going to go to, but that's definitely would be my gut feeling too.
Aphromoo doing the hover, trying to get a little love from the crowd. They do need a jungler, however, and it is going to be that Eve going in for Dexter. Looking to put a positive score on that for him, and he is even right now at 1-1 in plays. See how the team can sustain this. Definitely a whole lot of using the Knight and front end damage on Agony's Embrace, and double lift coming in the backside to finish off people.
Yeah.
A lot of that front end damage with LeBlanc and Eve.
We're going to have to see how Dexter can actually use this early game influence, because Elise is a very potent early game as well, and he has not had time to really research Think Card. And Think Card, you know, one of Dexter's strong points was that he's able to research his jungle opponents and read them very well. He predicts a lot of their paths through the jungle. But coming this random new jungler out of Challenger, unless he's met up with him a lot in solo queue, he's probably not going to have the best handle on his mentality.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens in these teams. The champs locked in and loading, so let's take a check at the votes. LOLesports.com says 79% are tipping this game in favor of CLG.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to bet on an unknown. 3 unknowns is even more difficult to place your bets on.
There's always hope there.
Yeah, there is.
There's no predictability to the unknowns. There's nothing you can go off of, knowing that, you know, when Scarra flashes, he'll still go 10 steps ahead to get that 1 CS in lane, because he loves CS. But you don't know that about these guys. Maybe they won't go. Maybe they'll go 9 steps ahead and miss the CS.
Maybe they don't like CS.
It's going to get intense. Last game of the day, everybody's hyped. We've had some crazy ones before this. We've had some great steamrolls. We've had some amazing games, but that's League. That's any given day, and we certainly have. We're going to be getting into this one. Game 84 of the Spring Split. It's kind of amazing that we've played that many games.
We're definitely getting up there. And as we close in, the game's getting that much more intense. We heard everybody keep talking about how are we going to finish? You know, we don't want to be in those bottom spots because guys like these guys, like Robert X. Lee and like ThinkCard, are the ones that are looking to take your spot in the Challenger Series, trying to work their way up.
Making their way out of base. CLG, 100 gold lead. They already got it in the bag. Let's see where they can go from here. Robert X. Lee, all the AD carries, always taking the mid lane, keeping it safe. Spell Thieves going over to Ken on Morgana. And the biscuits for Afro Moo.
All right, so Spell Thieves, Morgana, looking to get that early money. See how many bindings he can land on Double Lift, because Double Lift has been very outspoken about how much he hates playing against Morgana supports. And, you know, he's like, oh, if Morgana just lands one binding, then you have to burn a summoner, and you're going to have to get chunked out. You're going to lose that trade. So well, he'll have to be quick on his feet then if he's so adamant about the Morgana support power. He's going to be needing to dodge all of those bindings with a tumble.
It's going to be so interesting to see what ThinkCard, Robert X. Lee, and Ken do. More so ThinkCard and Ken. ThinkCard's aggression towards Dexter is going to be a big tell on how the rest of the game between them will go. If ThinkCard feels he can find and put Dexter out of the jungle, it's going to be very interesting to see that aggression coming from a new player on the big stage.
Yeah, so I'd at least like to see him putting wards inside jungle camp.
Oh, no! The veteran getting himself grabbed up here in the early part of the game. Pobelter should be all right. Doesn't actually have to blow flash on that one, but he does take W first, so we'll be able to sit there.
All right, so he got the Ignite from Link, though. The Summoner spell down. It's going to cost him probably at least half a wave, maybe a full wave in return. So probably going to be very detrimental to the laning phase here for Pobelter. Double Lift comes in for the harass, and they do the 2-versus-1 switch. Wow. He does not want to lane against Morgana at all. So Caitlyn plus Morgana, I don't blame him for not wanting to lane against that. There definitely would be at a huge disadvantage. But it's this Afro double lane. I've really come to expect them to play into losing lanes just because they're so confident. But not this time around. They go for the switch.
We'll see what happens here. Dexter, now he's going to be somewhat known to EG about where he is, kind of keeping in that top lane, or the solo lane, I should say, to where it's going to be now. That level 2 for Link, he means he's going to have good aggression out of Pobelter. And Inox getting that hook. The 2v1 seems to be prevailing already. The Ignite, no Ignite for them to come down. It's actually the exhaust that Afro has, but Double Lift takes it into his own hands.
Right now, Afro's MVP of this game. 2 hooks landed.
Yep.
Bunch of stuff burned.
Bunch of stuff.
He's able to get the first blood. This is an amazing start for a Vayne. Not only does Vayne get the lane swap, get the easy farm lane, but also a first blood to kick it off. And Dexter comes. Now, they haven't shoved the lane up quick enough to be able to cut Inox off before Inox gets to the turret, but he is going for the late invade here. No smite available. If ThinkCard would be able to get in vision, he does not get there. Now it's up to Dexter to
They're
look
completely
for
taking
counter.
advantage of something that ThinkCard
man.
really hasn't been a part of.
He's level 4 to level 2.
Going hard onto him. 0 mana there pushes him in between the turrets, and they go right after what they think will be the weak links here, and that's the 3 subs in on the game. There's not much that EG can do to react.
Oh, they're going back to one of the mains right now. Inox is trapped, level 1 at his turret, no flash.
4-1. Afro coming in as 2. He'll get quite a bit off of this. The 3rd hook he throws of the game goes down. 3 for 3.
God.
Dexter gets a piece of that one.
Well, you talked about blowouts already. This one is not looking good for EG.
It's going to be very hard.
Sorry, and it's not just that it's a 0-2. It's the levels. Look at Inox here. Still level 1. Level 2 jungler for EG. Experience is... Oh, it's just so far in CLG's favor right now. This is going to be a very deep hole for EG to try and climb out of.
That's the unpredictability that CLG knew they could bring to the table. A simple 2-man gank towards the top lane. Push ThinkCard off so hard with Inox that both of them still shook from that first instance of being found in the jungle. And Dexter and the rest of the team just reeling off of it, taking the advantage fully. It looks like they could come up big here. A great dodge by Pobelter. Knows he needs to take a step into the danger zone to get to safety.
All right, so it is really going to be up to Robert and Pobelter to try and carry this game for EG.
It's going to be tough.
Because, man, Inox is really starved right now. He's He can't even handle double lift if it was a one-on-one lane, but it's two-on-one lane still, so he still has to be worried about tower dives. He still has to watch these hooks from Aframu. There's even, it's just so much pressure right now, and there's only one deep ward from CLG, yet they have such a huge lead in this lane that they have the confidence to push up this far so early in the game.
Constant turret shots going on to that second-tier turret in the top lane, but Robert actually doing what he can as well in the bottom. Only Doran's for the AD, so it's not like anybody really has the advantage of damage, just who gets there first. And so far, it's been CLG putting things in order.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job shoving up to that turret, drawing Dexter over. But man, look at the tower damage. All in CLG's favor here for the bottom lane.
And Double Lift hasn't even popped his potion yet.
Oh,
they
got
haven't
all
really
the way around him. Ken? He's going for Ken.
Uh-oh. He calls Robert back into this. The Dark Binding's there. Will have the W after the Dark Binding. He holds the flash to use it onto Ken. They pick up the kill onto that one, and they're going to be chasing here.
Robert's going to run okay. He's, Dexter doesn't have that much mana left.
Nope.
Mana?
Mana, yeah.
That's better. Right? Yes.
3 swords pointing to the right for Pole Belter. That's what he wanted to pick up. Going a little OCD. 6 minutes and 20 seconds into this one. He's still level 5, but so is Link. So there's not too much pressure there as they hit 6 to make me a liar. They could be killing each other now. 41 to 42 in CS. So this is really the untouched lane here.
Yeah. And, you know, Pobelter having to start W didn't hurt him too much. It's fine on CS right now. Link's Ignite has come back around. So he's got the potential to all in here. We'll look for some silences onto Pobelter first. As long as he's able to keep him from roaming, though. I think that's all that Link really needs to do. He doesn't even have to kill Pobelter at this point. Side lanes are going to win it for him.
Yeah, I think Card's going to get, as well, levels here, but he's not going to be getting the items because he's getting no gold. He's just able to stay steady with Inox. 17 to 27 on the CS, a full, pretty much item behind, as Dexter's able to get himself around and has money in his pocket even to spend. So we'll see what happens. 2 kills for him. Now the second time onto Pobelter. Will he decide to death mark it? He does, but it's only going to be for so long. Link will live out of this one, and they gain control of mid.
Yep, LeBlanc real good at setting up those ganks for Evel, and all the Eve has to bring is extra damage. He's got plenty of silence, comboed with the snare there. No chance for Zed to get out alive.
Nope. And Pobelter has to play like that. He can't afford to be pushed back to his turret. He has to take some dangerous steps. Sometimes it'll cost him his life without that jungle pressure from Think Card. Think almost 6, not even like it's going to give him a big surge of power either, just another Spiderling.
Pobelter coming down the lane, but he's already used his ulti. So Dexter being in the area is very dangerous for EG.
Think Card trying to come in, almost gets himself to safety, but he goes down the hook onto Pobelter. No shots coming in. They don't even want to turn around for a few Silver Bolt procs. Afro flashes.
On the run.
Could be Pobelter putting a shadow over the wall, but the quickest way away from your opponent is a straight line. He makes a quick turn. He could get the Ethereal Train. Not going to be enough as Pobelter uses just about everything to come up with that kill. Link wondering one distortion to the team side and then back as he knows the team can help. Trying to use the Mimic. It goes up. He goes down. Pobelter reads it right, but he doesn't have the time or potential to kill up on Link this time. A little ring around the Rosie proves useful here for CLG, but Double Lift, gets it taken down. Inox going to pick up a nice, not even shut down there. Double Lift only had 1 kill.
Double Lift, true to his word, he said if you ever get hit by a binding, you have to blow summoners or you're dead. He blows summoners and he's dead.
The worst of the situation. We'll see the engage again. Think Card going hard, but he put himself right between the wall there.
Yeah, and Dexter does a great job doing a lot of damage over this wall right here. Then he wakes his way around. Even though Afro lands that hook, they were trying to run away.
Oh, man.
Good move for the Dragon here for EG, though. They want to get it while everyone's in base. After they burn this Dragon, though, they need to run as quick as they can, leave the scene of the crime, because they're pretty much stealing this gold away right out from under CLG.
Slide in, so they get the safety.
All right, there we go.
Exactly what they needed to do.
The crowd's in it for
very,
EG.
very hard-fought game so far.
Yeah, that's a good step back into the game for EG. They really needed that boost.
Oh, how's
We've
that?
been had, guys. Where's our Dragon?
Not today. They do have 2 blue buffs, though. That's kind of hurting units. We'll see where they can take that and what kind of pressure they can apply. Think Card. Oh, dear.
He sees that ward get placed, and he has to run for it.
He should be. He's
oh my God, he's
careful,
recalling
he's
still, though. He's
still
recalling
close.
That's so dangerous. He's lucky Dexter didn't check that bush.
Oh,
my God.
Robert X. Lee.
Not so lucky.
Huzzah! Ha! Left kick, right kick, hate spike, coming in with some more damage. Cupcake.
The trap.
A cupcake.
Runs on the trap.
Oh no! He comes up big with the Yordle trap. It's not even a Yordle. He modified it to work, and he gets his own blue buff.
And you say, come back, Riv. They're on it right now. That's another kill.
Getting a little too sure of himself
One step at a time
there.
for EG here.
That's a shutdown kill. That's good gold for
That
Robert
is
X.
great gold for them. They've got 2 pink wards now in the inventory too. Even though Link is killing 1 right now, they've got 2 more. They're going to try and keep track of Evelyn. And plus, there's already another one on the map. That's a lot of money for EG spending pink wards, actually. It's not like they're not trying to keep track of Evelyn. They're doing their best.
A lot of respect being given in the mid lane there. The waves being so full, neither wants to engage very hard. So things slow down a little bit. Both teams get to breathe here. Looks like buffs should be up in about 2 or 3 minutes, I believe. We saw both on Link and Dexter.
Actually, with that last pink ward being killed, every single member on EG had purchased a pink ward. Their one contribution to the Evelyn Vision game. So they're working on it, but now they have to place those really, really far in their own territory. They can't afford to place them very deep because those ones are indefensible. They cannot get out into the open versus CLG team at the moment.
Well, they've done a good job at staving off that early game pressure that just looked like CLG was going to take straight into the base in under 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Inox is now level 7, not Nien's level 9, but they're getting themselves in a spot where they can stop these sieges and hopefully stop Nien in the top lane, because CLG is going to try to start doing that dictating of the lanes and the strategic pushing that they like to start doing.
And even though EG have Zed, he's generally a good split pusher, Vayne is a great counter split pusher to Zed. Teams often will use a Vayne. Even if a Vayne isn't this fed, they'll be sending him towards that Zed. But Double Lift, because he got that first blood, he's actually ahead, and he's got a fully completed Blade of the Ruined King. So that's why Pobelter does not even want to go try and fight him. Very dangerous.
Heard previously last split from Cloud9 when they played a lot of Zed, or played a lot of Vayne, sorry, on Sneaky. They felt that he was one of the champions, or she, I should say, that could take down Zed in a 1v1 if come to it. So we'll see if Double Lift even gets a 1v1 chance here. He's putting himself on that situation. It looks like Pobelter may be the first one, but the whole team's collapsing.
Yeah. So the reason that Vayne is so good against him is because of the tumble mobility and the condemn. And she can use her invisibility to reposition like no other AD carry. So that being said, though, he still has to be careful, especially if there's an Elise in the area.
Whole lot of this and that have to happen, or it's not going to work out.
You can see him being a little wary there. They've got great ward coverage for him to do this, though. So they are trusting in the spinner. They just have to back it up with ward coverage.
False hope lingers in the distance.
Uh-oh.
See if it comes true.
Dexter's circling around the team.
They
could catch him in their own jungle. That would be a great evil.
Oh, 3 Agony's Embrace. Robert X. Lee not feeling too good on that one, but he will actually be the one to make it out. There's not a heck of a lot of focus to any one person. They've all taken about the same amount of damage.
Nien.
There's a final breath coming out from Nien. He gets in for a double kill on the burnout when he wasn't even present for the fight.
Yeah, that was a nice shot there by Nien. Coming down with the Dragon's Ascent. Ooh, Link dodged a couple spears. All in a day's work. Nobody from CLG does go down, and EG have to lick their wounds. They've got pressure on the bottom side. Pobelter going to try and deal with that one himself.
Aphromoo getting some good wards out. You can see that bottom side of the jungle.
It does hit. Beautiful shot.
Womp. There's a few. Oh, the flash. Oh, he gets the pellets, but it missed. Oh, he gets the final spear. It's all right.
So he lines the binding up with where... Uh-oh.
What?
Don't do that.
It scared me for a second. He's all right.
All right, let's take another look at a fight down bottom here. This is a Vayne's answer.
Yeah, there you go.
Double Lift able to get a great condemn onto Pobelter. One more shot would have done it, but that's too deep under the turret.
Yeah, very big damage coming in. We just talked about that and why the pick was made, mainly for Double Lift, but it's working out great for that Zed. We see the Deathfire Grasp now coming out for Link onto LeBlanc. He's not had too huge of an impact, but he's keeping himself steady in the mid lane and making trouble for EG to really get any bit of a lead there.
Yeah, I mean, being down really early versus a team that's got LeBlanc and Evelyn that could pick you off anywhere on the map inside your own jungle is such a hard situation to be in. CLG just need to keep up their ward coverage, and the entire jungle, both sides, is actually theirs to take. You can already see Dexter making use of it right now.
Think card going over. Blue gets taken, or red rather, gets taken away as EG tries to set up on the bottom side of this jungle. They have pretty good warding around their buffs right now towards the bottom side just for their own safety.
Ooh, look at this circle around.
With Dragon alive, they may try to get a good fight here and push towards that. It would be a huge advantage for them. They're down 3,000 gold. They start off with a Deathfire. And onto the ace in the hole. It's not going to be too much, though. Yeah, very nice condemn.
Every time Zed comes in, instant condemn from Double Lift. They bought enough time for Link to take down the top turret. All that bottom lane squad had to do was play defensively. They did a good job not overextending. And it's really EG looking for little bits they can get back in this game. Stealing dragons, getting small picks, trying to catch out Vayne or someone, trying to burst them down, burst down a squishy target. Those are the little steps that EG want to get back in this game. It's very hard, though. You can see them taking those steps, getting vision back in their own jungle. Hard-fought war there to get this. But they're going to have to defend those pink wards because CLG are always down on that side, and they'll just clear them out.
They really have to be able to retrace their tracks with safety, too. You can never be that last person in a fight when your team is down this low, because that's always the one that gets pulled out of the group from the wards. Right now, Robert actually...
Oh, there's one down.
Yeah. It could be. If Inox travels down here, he'd be the first one in the
pink ward
group.
baits, though? Can they make use of the second one? Nope.
Nope, no stragglers here. Nobody's going to get caught out just yet. It is Dexter, though, trying to make those happen. They're giving Double Lift pretty much all he wants in this bottom lane. This is Double Lift being in his own environment, being happy.
They've switched it up here. Have Zed split push against Shyvana instead of going into that Vayne lane where Double Lift is pretty much king.
Yep.
Able to impose his will on the bottom lane here. Interesting that CLG have not consolidated a lot of their resources here. They've kept Link splitting in the middle this entire time. They haven't brought down that burst power that could catch people in the transitions from mid to bottom. If Link's able to get control of this red side jungle and he gets a setup camp in here, then EG have to take the long way in their rotations to defend turrets. And every extra second that EG take in their transitions means extra turret damage for CLG. And that will eventually reward them with turret kills.
Oh, Double Lift sidesteps it. What a nice guy. Pie to the face for Link. He only takes a little bit of damage, but it'll be all right. They dodge out of this. And we haven't even seen Nian really coming down to these fights. Last fight, he went double kill going in between the mid turrets. If he's to approach this next fight, he's bigger than anybody. There's no tank for EG right now. It would be pretty bad.
Yeah, it looks like he is rotating around through the mid turrets. It's not like they don't see him coming. A lot of pings going down here, but it basically means we're taking your bottom turret, and we know that there is nothing you can do to defend this. Keep your Zed up top.
Yep.
See what he can get for himself up there. And they've got yet another objective, another chunk of global gold to add to the coffers.
CLG has just spent so much time out here, and they're not making a ton of gold. They're only making it in small increments. That Deathfire Grasp still being held on by Link. Only the Blade of the Rune King so far. We're 20 minutes in, and these guys have spent so much time on the Rift, not in the Fountain.
So
they haven't even bought again.
Double Lift just bought
okay, so he just went back and
Quicksilver Sash and then sold it and purchased the Guardian Angel instead. Look at this push gank, though. 100%. Oh, didn't get the chain.
Wait, the flash. Oh,
so bad.
Can't make it happen. Somebody stepped on his toe.
Run for your life now.
He did get it. Very nice distortion on the end of that. He throws it out. The flash is forced because he knew could take even one sidestep.
Yeah, if you dodge up, then you hit a Morgana binding.
Yep.
If you dodge down, then you lose ground, and you have to take this longer road back to your turret. So he just flashes forward.
9-4 here, 20 minutes into the game. And it looks like Baron is going to be an option for these guys. Level 12 Pole Belter does what he can to harass them off, and it's enough to stop it. They dodge out. A flash, Agony's Embrace coming in from Dexter. That's the fight that EG says they want. From the outside is a great javelin coming in from Inox. Pole Belter's forced out though. The HP bars are just not enough to sustain the damage that CLG has. The passive is going to kick in. He's going to be able to chase down. Pole Belter should have that W Shadow soon. He goes for the... Oh, can't get the Blade of the Rune King. Thought it was going to be enough, but he didn't have the shadows to get away.
And they both pop blades. And Doublelift is able to find that kill. That should be... Well, they can't really call in any more members here. It's just Doublelift. If Robert can clear out the wave quick enough, they can get this turret to regenerate.
Dodging out. Safety from the Lantern. And it's not like it's a huge discrepancy here between the AD carries. 177 to 171. The kills, however, for Vayne, just allowing her to get that GA and the bit of gold that the team has grabbed over objectives. Really what's been able to put him on top. And Doublelift now brings out the mechanics. Not too scared to go in any 1v1 situation here.
Robert brings out the mechanics, actually. Taking home the white cash. Oh, Kenwood
shield
as well. He
50
wins,
seconds.
Kills off the ward for Afro. All right, CLG want to group up now. You know, they've got control of Baron Vision. They can try and lure EG back over to the dangerous side of the river.
How about no, he says.
They will get the blue buff, though. So
yeah. It's always one for something right now. CLG just has so much control that EG is waiting for a mistake. I don't know if they're going to get it, though.
I don't know what all these things are. They're sending Yen down bottom to split push again on Shyvana. The tank Shyvana split push here.
Yeah, who's also now building a blade. I love it.
They're trying to shove all three lanes. Taking their time, but oh, they find out.
He turns himself around, tries to get the damage. Link will take a good hit there. He's going to be able to stay all right. Mimicked out, and it looks like he's safe.
Yeah, it was that danger I was talking about, playing against an Evelyn LeBlanc team. It's so hard to stay safe at all times, and CLG were really just starving them to this point. They can really wait until they get one of those picks, then force the Baron once again, because now not only do EG not have vision of Baron, but they're at a man disadvantage. And I guess Nien actually getting pretty greedy, going for Dragon instead. Oh, now they want the engage. He's going to come in behind him. Good flank from Nien here. He'll come in the back.
Think card being a little too close. Maybe he can get the repel out and stay alive for a little bit longer. Ken also has to walk out of the Soul Shackle range. Not what they wanted.
Now the jungler's down, though. Even though Zed's back up, jungler dead. Yep. There's no threat of the smite steal. Oh, Link! Afro with the Superman flash.
Haven't seen that since Zuna jumped into the Baron pit, I believe, saving Smithy with Corki. That's very, very hard to do. You can easily flash past or just before the ace in the hole, but Afro coming up big on that one. Keeps his teammate alive, which is going to equal gold of the Dragon. Not yet at that highest rate of gold, but they are going to get a good chunk off of this one. Good stop by Nien. His health, no magic resistance there. You can just see him eating it up with that HP bar, though.
Yeah, CLG taking the slow route. Get a bunch of extra picks.
They definitely
extra gold from Dragon.
EG do a bit more than I thought they would.
Uh-oh, the Shadow's already used. He has no option but to go for the kill.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a lot more damage on top of that Death Mark. He pulls it out. It's going to be like one last auto attack between both of them.
That was single digits. Single digits.
I like it. They both get a golf clap from the crowd.
That's a good fight, guys.
As a return for the next fight. Nobody throws in the towel there. They're just ready for the next round. 13-5 as EG is holding on to this. 24 minutes into the game, they're definitely struggling a bit, but with CLG letting up on some of this aggression, we can see that EG is starting to get items, but they need to get the levels that's going to put them back in this game.
Doublelift back to the minions. They're calling to him. Looks like Vision has got a little bit out of control around the Baron there. EG snuck a really nice ward in that you would not expect. And now pretty much all the denial is about guessing where the wards are and using your sweeper in the right place. Since CLG only have one upgraded Oracle's sweeper, and will not be able to find that ward down there. And the Baron baits will be no more.
So easily in the driver's seat right now.
Well, they can just force it.
Yeah,
instead.
can't respond to this. They're going to have to. ThinkCard, whoa! That's a 1-2-3 punch to the gut. ThinkCard goes down. He does not have a chance, and he has really been focused on. It's been a tough game for him, whether he liked it or not. Dexter and Doublelift were in his face instantly, and they're just trying to get whatever they can. Shots in the dark from Afro Moo. Doublelift and team getting Baron up now, 44.7 to 34.3. Few more turrets stand on the map here that will be necessary. Link will not go down from this. The exhaust is there.
Whoa!
Whoa, it was still a good amount of damage, however, to come off.
Level up right there. That was so close. Afro's going to pay the price, though.
He will pay quite a price on this one. Goes down to Ken Soulshackle. Dexter and Nian going to pick up a kill and assist here. 15 to 6, now 16 to 6. You can see the buff transfers and trades between both teams on the screen as CLG is making their way to the base.
Doublelift farming in mids here. Now he's got a target. Dexter could get around for the slow.
Only slow down Doublelift's damage to put that Guardian Angel right in between any other items in his build. But he's staying safe. He's died once, so I guess it's working pretty well.
Yeah, let's take another look at this, actually, because Link plays this so aggressively. Deciding to go back in for his Mimic Distortion on Pobelter, who turns around the damage. And what was it, a Mikhail's? Where'd that life come from? What in the world?
Leveling, dangerous game.
Still 14. Oh yeah, there you go. It's that mastery.
Dangerous game, baby.
Dang, Riv. On point.
16 to 6 here.
I don't ever get that mastery. I hate that mastery.
Well, it kept Link alive.
Yeah.
27 minutes
Genius.
on this one. 6 to 1 in turrets. What is going to happen here? There's 11 turrets that stand on a map, so that means it's only 5 more sitting on the side of EG, but you need players to defend that. Pobelter goes down immediately. Link finally goes down to one of these. I was going to say, can he make it out again? Not this time.
All right, yeah. He's playing a dangerous game. Sometimes you lose the game.
You don't say. Let's see what Rabdown's now on Inox. He's had it for a little bit. The spears are starting to get under the skin of CLG, but the HP bars are pretty much healthy enough now that it's not doing enough damage.
I can't. So we talked about in the beginning. We're like, oh, is CLG going to show their discipline again that they were sort of lacking at the end of Super Week? Not really.
Yep.
They're looking for just constant picks here. They got such a huge lead that they've been taking the game a little lax,
Right.
I have to think.
Yeah, the Guardian Angel second is not the normal buy. You used to see last Whisper, not that you need attack speed or any other items, but it's Doublelift. Does what he wants to do. Pobelter taking some big damage at level 16 Nian right now. 12 and 13 walking around, and he's looking down on him. He's going to have to get out of this one, though. Too many ankle biters trying to get his feet.
17 to 7, though. EG are holding on to this game. If they can just hold up shop here inside and keep these inhibitor turrets alive for the duration of Baron buff, they could get out of it. Oh, well, miscalculation there.
Tried to do his best. Pobelter, again, getting hit up quite hard as ThinkCard's going to try and defend the top lane now. They got pretty much an all-lane push going into the base. 51.5 to 39,000 gold, I should say. ThinkCard coming up with the execute down onto Nian. He picks himself up a shutdown kill there in 3. And there's Dexter again getting into the fight. The flash, Agony's embrace. Ken goes down immediately. Doublelift is on a tear. Going for Robert X. Lee. One more shot, and that's going to be the Silver Bolt third proc. They're going to go onto the inhibitor turret and the inhibitor to start opening up the base.
All right, inhibitor turret going down here. CLG going, oh, what a hook from Afro!
The 1, 2, 3. This time, it's the hate spike coming in from Dexter. They're going to get the inhibitor. They start knocking on the front door. EG's going to have a very hard time controlling these lanes now. They do not have too much siege clear on this team. That's going to be a Link going down. He pops out. Pobelter looks to keep himself safe. So they get a little bit off of this, but they lose a lot.
All right. Yeah, a little bit lax. But and CLG do come away with the inhibitor down, so pretty big break in EG's defenses. All right, I guess they will go grab up the extra gold here from Dragon. Now that Super Minions are pushing down bottom, it should be a bit more focused game plan from CLG. Heading towards top. Nian's already done a good amount of work up there, so if the rest of the team joins him, he can actually turret dive pretty easily. 11k gold on Shyvana. He should have plenty of armor.
Dragon has been slain. Thank you, announcer. 3 of 4 dragons going over to CLG right now in a 15,000 gold lead. Sitting pretty. There's some attack onto Pobelter. We'll see how this goes. Dexter get the ace in the hole, and he does not want any more of that. Looking down at the bottom here. See who's got the CS lead. 273 going in for double lift, doing what he does best. He's probably off in his habitat farming. We'll see him. Yep, he's towards that top lane. Gracefully doing what he does best.
Yeah, I think Dexter might want to heal before they go for this top lane push. So we might have a little lull in the action here for CLG as they group up.
Interesting buy from Robert actually, going for the static shiv with the new crits. The way it works. We haven't seen that a lot.
Well, they desperately need wave clear. Wow, man, he is really in trouble here though. Yen is on a tear. Yen gets bored if you don't let him kill something every once in a while.
He wants to fight. Oh, very nice attack going back on with the death mark. It's not going to be enough to follow a full fight though. So CLG just backing off, knowing that they're wasting essential spells for EG.
Well, EG are pretty happy with this. You know, they're able to farm up. They're trying to still hold on. They've gotten a decent amount of harass down onto Nien. So the super tanky Shyvana, not so tanky right now. Half-Life Nien right now, though, is more than any tank that EG have to offer. They have 0 frontline, so half a tank still better than no tank.
And there's Dexter creeping in the backside of the base. They're like, oh, Eve's in the base. We need to respond to that. You can see EG slowly peeling off one by one, and that's going to keep giving CLG more damage onto that turret. Dexter, he's just waiting in the wings.
Yeah, Evelyn always likes to flank on fights, which makes it really hard for her normally at inhibitor turrets, but since one's already down, he can come in from the back.
Nien on the top side, the only level 17 in the game. No double lift is there, too, to try and help him. Looks like big damage onto Nien, but he's big enough to take the front of all that damage, and it looks like they do take down the clone, but where's Link? Down to the backside, he's got his damage out, and he's out of the fight as Dexter applies more pressure. Behind the Nexus now, by himself, almost in a 2v1, and it's going to push all of EG back to the fountain.
All right, CLG, looks like they're trying to take out the Nexus turrets.
There's one of them going down, cannot do much about it. Inox tries to pounce out of that fight. It's going to be CLG taking this one. A huge start to the game. They figured they'd slow down a little bit in the mid-game. EG definitely trying to put themselves back in, but it was too much, too early, way too soon. CLG coming out with a win on this one. It's going to be just around 32 minutes and 50 seconds into the game, 26-9, and a 20,000 gold lead is going to be what it takes. Kobe, CLG comes out big with another win, going 13-8 in the spring split.
Stylish finish there from Link too with the gold chains.
Yep. The off week has seemed to affect teams differently. Some worse than others, some better than others. Looks like CLG definitely benefited. They go back to LeBlanc, make sure they get Kha'Zix, or Evelyn I should say, for Dexter in the jungle. He puts that in a 2-1 at 3, plays now an Afro move.
Oh man.
Hooks all day.
So the reason the early game was so easy for CLG was because Afro move kept landing all those early game hooks.
Yeah.
Early game hook, kill, early game hook. I guess the first one wasn't a kill on Pobelter, but made him start W. Had them running around a little bit, but he really got that dual lane going.
Really great play coming out, making sure that they shut down Think Card in the jungle. CLG had a plan coming into this game. They weren't going to say, should be an all right game. You know, we're playing against a team with 3 subs. It's going to be tough for them. They said, it's going to be tough for them. Let's make it tougher. And they had Think Card. Level 1, when they were level 4, along with Inox in that top lane, it was almost impossible to come back from that.
Yeah, I mean, Dexter really took the opportunity that was given to him. They 2-1 switch, so he goes to invade.
Yeah.
Take out the blue buff and chase him out of lane. I mean, Inox and Think Card at the beginning just got denied so much experience. It was so hard for this team to get back in on it because they're running with Nidalee, Elise, and Caitlyn, who all want early game tower pushing, early game poke, and they were not able to get anywhere near that stuff going to happen. And they weren't able to get their mid-Zed assassin going either, because side lanes were getting hit up so much.
Yep, that also hurt in the beginning, right? Because they knew Zed wasn't going to come help at blue because he was late to lane. They pushed out Pobelter by getting him to level W first, and he didn't even get to lane I think 3 or 4 minions had died before he approached it, and that is when Double Lift and Alphamu came from the top lane, saying to themselves, all right, Think Card's taking a bit of damage from the blue, now it's ours. Very good play.
Yeah. And yeah, you said, Zed wasn't coming from the mid because he was late.
Yeah.
Inox wasn't coming from the top because he was dead. So it was a very easy invade for Dexter right there. Really just taking the opportunity that presented itself. And man, did CLG run away with it. Yeah,
they definitely, like I said, had something planned coming into that game. Double Lift picked Vayne quite early in that composition as well. They made sure they got Thresh for themselves. LeBlanc was their first pick, so really making sure if things went awry with Double Lift in lane, then Link would be able to pick off. CLG always has kind of an out if something goes wrong. They're always making sure they look ahead.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid game from them. They did sort of fall back on, in the mid game, just getting picks and increasing their gold lead without real focus on taking down turrets. And it was exciting, though.
We saw a few of the tweets that were coming up on social media kind of saying that EG's composition wasn't really synergizing with itself. You have a little bit of poke, then you have like all in from Zed and Elise as well, and they weren't really able to make it happen.
We didn't really get to see even what they wanted to try with it because they got behind early so much. So not all their fault there.
It's not. They were able to grab the early dragon, kind of helped them out. I thought they would have a chance there, but with CLG having so much control of the game, and like you said, even playing a little bit lackluster as they did at the end of Super Week, they were still able to come out on top of this. So a few things to dust off and clean up with the break. Definitely not one of the teams that benefited the most, either of these guys, but CLG able to come up with the win there. Well, we're just about to hand it over to Freak and Jat for the North American Challenger Series. But first, let's take a look at how the teams stack up with our standings. Brought to you by the new season of Game of Thrones. And first, for yet another day, is Team Solo Mid.
And keeping pace, just one game back in second, is Cloud9. They're followed by CLG in third with 13 wins.
Then it's a tie, with Curse and Dignitas sharing fourth. And sixth place, we have Coast with their 5th straight loss today.
In 7th, it's Evil Geniuses, and in last, it's XCG with 5 wins and 16 losses.
And the NA LCS returns tomorrow at noon Pacific time, 8 p.m. Central European for 4 more matches, starting with TSM versus Dignitas.
Then Coast looks to take a win, snap their losing streak, when they take on CLG. And following that will be XCG Gaming versus a surging Curse.
And we'll close out the LCS day with Cloud9 facing off against Evil Geniuses. Then be sure to stay tuned for our second day of the North American Challenger Series semifinals immediately following our LCS action. Now, without further ado, let's send it over to Freak and Jat for the NACS.